Flirting is not consent. What do you guys have to say about that?
Flirting is not consent.
I think you said something about the fact that you're behaving. Please can you?
So I feel like body expressions can be misread. Like I said before, body expressions can be misread. So a girl likes you. I have friends that are very expressive. They can come off as being super expressive, especially in a country where as a woman being sexually expressive is almost like seen as being loose, or she's cheap, or she's too loud, she's too this, she's too that. So when someone is so expressive, it's tagged as she wants it, she wants to get down, she really wants this. But the fact is, like I've said before, if a girl is not saying yes, please, because it's not even for her safety alone. You will reap once it gets out, it's almost like you are going to be isolated, and nobody really wants that. So not just for even herself, but for your own self too. So you need to think about all of these things before you make this decision.
Okay, so what you have to say about it?
Yeah, I get her point of view, and that's just the best. Like as a guy, if I'm to advise anybody now, don't ever don't say, okay, this girl is trying to give me some ideas or something like that. Because personally, I feel that a girl can actually get away with. A girl can come to you now as a guy, do stuff with you, maybe tap your butt or go around you, hug you in a certain type of way, and the society may even think it's a privilege for you. I don't know if you get me.
Yeah.
The society may think it's a privilege for you that okay, you tap points.
Yeah.
Maybe it's because probably as you age, you just begin to see some of these things as harassment, but you can't do that to a girl. It's harassment, you understand?
Yeah.
So are you now thinking, I do not think that the society is
biased?
It's biased, not biased, it's dysfunctional.
It is actually.
Because as a guy, as I am, like, I know I have a lot of female friends that can just come to me, just go behind my back and do stuff, and I'll just be smiling. You understand? But you don't try it for a female. You don't try it for a female. You understand? You don't try it.
You want to grab
She's
a girl by
fighting
her
with you,
boobs.
but you don't go and do stuff like that. You look crazy. So it has never really been. Should I say green lights?
Okay.
Yeah.
And I don't think it is for anybody.
Okay. I think that's that. You have something to say, Vicky.
Well, I don't have anything serious to say, but I'm going to say something about that thing you said, right? So, in as much as the society is quite, biased and funny in a way, right? But I think it still boils down to the fact that we need to understand, we can't deny that men and women are different. So we need to be able to chill. I'm not saying it is right. I'm not saying it is right, but biologically, a man. I'm not saying it is right, but I'm putting cases of not everything is really black or white. Something a man can actually go shirtless on the streets, and people in Nigeria will not find it weird. But a woman cannot go shirtless on the street. People will think she's mad.
But a man doesn't go around wearing tight bone shorts and all that.
I've seen people do that.
Those are cross dressers.
No.
There are guys that wear
People look at them as
shorts.
well. Okay, let me ask you a question. Can you walk with your boyfriend with wearing a tight, something as tight as what females wear? All those bumps.
Men wear
No,
it.
it's weird. It's
But
weird.
wait, so you agree that
Let's not debate.
Okay.
So our point is that regardless of the fact that women do certain things to men and they can get away with it, we have to understand that a woman's body is
quite different from a man's body.
You understand?
Again. I'm not saying it's right. Again, I'm not saying it's right.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I feel
we just have to understand. I think we know things that are right
I feel like
and
the
things
reason
that are
why
wrong.
it is even like this
No.
is because of the number of rape cases
You
and
know
the
what?
people who are mostly
I'm bringing
I think it
stuff.
has also contributed in a way.
Yeah.
That is why when a guy comes off as being overly touchy, people start to suspect.
Yeah.
But when a girl is they don't necessarily she's so cute.
Because generally, women are not seen as being harmful.
Well,
That's like the general perception. The society thinks women are weak and
Okay, there was this article I came across. I realized that some men who turned out to be like I'm talking, these ones were like those ones molesting children.
Yeah.
They had experiences from learning this evil acts as children because they were molested by males and by females.
Yeah.
So what I'm trying to point out, the reason why I said what I said was because of what you said. You said 90% of men will always want to like get down, like are always horny. Like, if a guy is horny, he sees everything as a signal. You understand?
I don't think that's what I said.
That's
I said that sometimes when so I try to give an example of a man to a woman. If a guy is horny, like I said, gestures aren't everything. You can misread gestures. When you are horny, most times you might see what you just want to see. That is why it is very important for you to hear it.
But horny is bisexual.
The
The female and the male gets horny.
Even if a guy, I'm sorry to bring this, maybe this is me deviating, but even if it were to be a guy and a guy, it will still be rape if a guy doesn't say yes.
I said females get horny.
Even when it's a guy,
I'm just giving an example. I'm not saying that females don't get horny. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying from the perspective of what it is currently in the society. If a guy is reading the signs because he is horny, and then you tell him that, but I never, or you kiss a girl kisses you, and then you automatically think she wants to sleep with you, man, there is a problem.
No, of course that's totally wrong.
Okay, let's not go too deep on that. So let's ask. I want to ask this other question. It says, being in a relationship is not consent. I remember you mentioned that there was this guy and his girl. It started as a consensual sex, and then she said she was sore.
Yeah.
Don't you think that is not enough justification for the guy to have continued?
Okay. Before I go on, that's a totally different thing. Being in a relationship, I think. Even
Of course,
myself,
being in a
I think
relationship.
a lot of guys have dated virgins and there was nothing sexual about that. You have dated a girl that didn't want to have sex, there was nothing sexual about that.
Okay.
So what I said, why I brought out that story in particular was because of the way that guy was crucified. You understand? On Twitter, he was labeled, a rapist, like someone from start to finish forcing a lady. This lady didn't give you any vibe, or probably started motion, she said no. But probably you guys were already sleeping together, like trusting. And then all of a sudden she said stop. You understand? If that guy didn't stop, that guy is a sexual offender, he's a rapist. Yes, he's a rapist. He's a rapist. But I just felt the guy suffered a lot of emotional torture.
You feel like the media, demonized him.
They demonized him.
Too much.
But a lot of guys are in that shoes. Take it or leave it.
Yeah.
And a lot of ladies too. Of course.
Yeah.
See,
Not a
Should
lot.
I shock you?
I was being
Should I
biased
shock
about
you?
that particular episode because
Should I shock
I
you?
just felt
I feel
you shouldn't have
Should I
done
shock
this to
you?
your boyfriend.
You know-
It's
you know-
something that you should have sorted out. If you guys, I don't think
But
that guy should
don't
have
you
been
been
there.
think-
needs
don't
to
you
be
think
sorted
that
out.
a lot
That
of
person.
people? So the whole question about being in a relationship is being in a relationship equals to having right and access to a woman's body, whether or not you want.
Of course, no.
That's what I'm saying. So a lot of people have that mentality, whether you like to accept it or not. I'm telling you.
Yeah, people do.
I'm telling you because I've heard guys say,
There are
"Maybe
a lot
my
of-
babe, I should go say she don't want sleep."
And then when you have unconsented sexual intercourse with your wife, it's
in
rape.
recent times, two couples they were together for 2 years, there was no penetration.
That is a different conversation now. We are having a conversation on consent.
No, that means I'm
And
trying to say
I'm
that
saying
even if it's
that
your wife,
when
there's
it
no
comes
consent,
to-
there's no consent.
Yeah, so you're trying to say that obviously.
Oh, you mean like married people?
Married couple,
Oh,
yes.
okay, okay.
2 years, there was no penetration.
Because she was.
Because she didn't want
No.
it. No, she didn't want
That's
it.
why that kind of.
It's not an issue.
No, I want you to think. I just want you to think this way. No. The fact that there are a lot of guys that feel this might be, then I have every right to a body. Those guys are few, and I think they have a problem. There are a lot of guys.
Bro, I could not agree with that.
You can't say
Well,
that.
I think this conversation,
So
I
person
feel
like my
like
baby, now body. No.
I disagree.
Maybe I think you probably have you're
your wife.
speaking based on who you are and
Yes,
how
and
this
who
conversation,
your friend.
I
Well, I
think-
know that I hear this
No.
on a regular.
I think this conversation is so ambiguous. We
Yeah,
have to
we
talk
can't-
about
we can't-
Actually,
each
but just
thing
for people with
on that.
different
I'm
experiences.
telling you, I feel like we have to talk about these things, like each item I talk about. I feel like we should do one episode for each of them. That's how I feel. But should I shock you?
Yeah.
If I am with someone and the person says stop, even make I don't reach 101 degrees, wallahi, and you go back to zero immediately. And that is how I think we should train our children. That is what
I
it should
think,
be.
I think the problem
You should
like
not
I
even
said,
try forcing someone that
Yes.
tells you
shouldn't.
stop.
You shouldn't try to force. Personally, I think. Okay, the last relationship I think I dated for almost 1 year. This person was just there without any history of sexual debut, and we're there. We're just there. Even my balls were going bleed.
You were
Let's just be there.
bonding.
Let's be there.
You were
Actually,
bonding.
But did you have
Bonding.
conversations? So this is
You
this.
built
I've
a
had
friendship.
conversations with friends about this before. Now, this is something between you and your babe, right? Was there a conversation as to she doesn't want this to be she's not ready for
Funny
this?
enough, I have this kind of person. Me personally, I don't let Strav make you feel there's something wow about it. Probably you try to place me on, like, I don't place Strav on a pedestal. You understand? Because it's cheap. Strav is cheap. Take it or leave it.
Sure.
Strav is cheap. You can get it at Allen Avenue.
But can you get hers?
No, it doesn't matter. It's Strav.
But can you get
But
hers?
now it's now the person that becomes the problem.
That's
If the person is
Let's-
what it,
let's
if
not-
the person is what it, come on.
Okay, let's not waste
If the person
so
is
much.
what it-
Let's not waste so much time on this. I have another one to ask you. Consent for one thing is not consent for everything.
Yup.
Of course, definitely.
What-
Definitely.
Can you like give like a detailed example or explanation of what that means? Like, can anybody do that?
Okay. We're
Okay,
together.
please say
Okay,
that.
okay, let me say it from the women's angle, right? You can say it from the guy's angle. Again, we've already established the fact that not many Nigerian women are very sexually expressive.
Yeah.
I fall into that category. I can't talk. You see, phone, when I'm texting, I can do a lot. But then when I'm looking at you physically, all the balls are
People
gone. I have no
people
balls
do a lot of
left,
things
right?
over the internet.
Now, when I'm with you physically, I might have said a lot of, things I might have read in novels, maybe, or all of that. But I might not be comfortable doing that to you, but with you in person.
Yeah.
Let me give you an instance. Not an instance, but people
It does not
try
matter,
to
just-
explore.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That people have very weird sexual fetishes. Like
True.
things they want to try out that someone might not be comfortable with.
True.
If someone says they don't like to do XYZ and they don't want to do it, don't force the person to want to.
One of my
Especially
guys, one of my
guys.
guys said something. No, it was one of my female friends. She said, "Can you imagine that guy one day used me the heart porn?"
And then the emotional torture
Yeah.
that comes with you not wanting to. I don't want to suck your dick. Right? You make me look as if I'm a small girl or then you're painting this
Are you
picture.
a learner?
Of, can you? So
What-
this is.
Yeah.
If she doesn't, you can, like you said, that it's cheap, right?
Mm.
You can go to Allen, look for someone that will do bicycle
of
style
course.
for you, or look for something that you get.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I
let people
agree.
be comfortable. Like I feel there should be that. People should be more present.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like be more present, especially guys. Sorry about that. I'm not trying to pick
No,
on you, but
yeah.
it's just what it is, right?
Yeah.
You guys have watched porn, and you've seen all the
Boys
different
and
things.
girls
in
watch porn.
Okay, no. Okay, yes,
Girls
I agree.
watch more
I
porn.
agree. But I feel like guys watch porn to come and practice.
Everybody watch porn to
come and practice.
learn, to get high, to probably jack off. or
But some of
something.
those things, if these people are doing it, I don't think that they
You should not
normal.
forget that porn is a
Yeah.
kind of movie, so there's tendency to film trick.
Oh,
so
They can edit it. They can.
do you get it? So you don't have to necessarily try to practice everything is in porn. Because some of those movies, they act them for months. I mean, they act them for
Someone's
days.
daughter,
And
you want
then you
to
want
spend like
Ask
want
question.
to.
on.
Babe, would you like to try XYZ? Listen to what she says. At that point, what she says determines what next you do.
Exactly.
If
And
someone says, can you do XYZ? And she says, no. Bro, move on with your life. Or do something you are both comfortable
Yoruba people
with.
say Tibe, close that door, close that door. Don't
Like I
open
said,
the
I
door.
want to do this with you doesn't mean I want to do that with you. I don't.
Actually,
So
yeah.
that should be.
Okay, so dressing in sexy clothing is not consent. See this one, I dey vex.
Nobody will ever
I
say
dey, you know why I dey vex?
Well,
Many
Nigeria
sex
no sane
offenders.
person, no sane person,
Well,
no sane
Many
person.
sex offenders will say, or many people
How
that
many sex
discriminate
offenders?
people, they will
Yeah.
say she was wearing.
exactly.
And why would she wear something like that? I mean, for Christ's
Yeah.
sakes, when I was in Unilab, I heard about a girl that was sexually molested and she was wearing her old hijab and jalabia and she was not even exposing her
See,
body.
that what I'm trying to say is that the punishment for sex offenders is too mild in this country.
So what's the
what I would
punishment
say.
for sex offenders?
There's really no punishment. I don't really
think
see a lot
there
of
is,
them
actually.
coming down
I
with
think
it.
there is.
I read one article in Ekiti State, the guy was jailed, but that guy he defiled the girl child. You understand?
Yeah.
How many of these Twitter cases have actually gone to
Gone
court?
to court,
You
yeah.
understand?
Well,
That's
Yeah,
what
that
I'm
was-
trying
so
to
I
say.
think it's the,
So
the
what I'm
society
like I
is
said earlier,
very-
it has not been defined. There has been no
Yeah.
appropriate advocation. This is why these things are happening. If we can label this thing and set guidelines,
Yeah.
the people that are not actually sex offenders would not suffer
The punishment
the
reserved
punishment
for sex
that
offenders.
the real sex offenders are there wallowing in the streets, raping, serial rapists, like,
I'm telling
and
you.
you understand? Wait,
I don't.
what I'm
Sorry,
trying to
sorry.
say is-
That's
what I'm
just
trying to say is-
real sexual
that's
offenders.
sexual, like,
No. So just say
let me
other
bust
sexual
your bubble.
offenders.
Now let me
Because
bust your
others are
bubble.
also
Let me,
raped.
okay, what about the men that get raped and nobody's saying anything
So
about
this
it?
is my problem. I think for most of the things that you've said, I get that you're coming from the angle of seeing it from the guy's view, which is good and fine because so that there will
You know
be
why?
some
You know
sort
why
of
I'm doing
balance.
this?
And
Because every other person, sorry, okay, talk.
so that there will be some sort of balance here. So I
Yeah.
get what you are trying to say. But for me, I like to say this. This is not even a question about whether you are a guy or whether you are a girl. This is not even that question. In the society that we are in today, most times you never ever hear a case of, oh, the guy was dressed indecently, that was why he was raped. You don't hear that. What you hear is she said we come out we dressed like that I think I heard a story, I think it was real, of a girl who was confronting her dad. Her dad actually raped her when she was quite young, and she was confronting her dad, and she was as well confronting her mom for never standing up, speaking about it. Apparently they're from a wealthy family, and once news gets out, it's going to be such a very, very serious issue. And then she confronted her mom. Do you know what her mom said? Her mom was like, I should blame you. You were always wearing skimpy clothes to attract your father, to seduce your father. And I've heard this. So this one is not even, it is not restricted to a certain age bracket.
Every time.
Every time when you hear that somebody is raped, you'd hear moms, you hear dads, people who should be the
Especially
one
adults.
instilling this knowledge.
That's what I'm trying to say, that
Yeah.
work has not been done on that issue.
And those ones that are
And
not raped,
who should do this law? Sorry, the law enforcement agencies, they should actually more advocates need to stand up for rape victims, and rape victims need to be told that they can always come out to tell their stories. You understand? And offenders should be punished. Forget in Nigeria. If not, that's why I started this section by saying that the whole thing is rudimentary. We want to talk about sex, like I want to talk about sex, you start looking at me in some kind of way. I want to talk about this thing, you begin to look at me in some kind of way. So when a lady or when a girl child or a boy child is molested, everybody. Recently I had a conversation with some of my friends, and about 10 people, about 6 to 7 had issues as kids. And when I asked the 6 to 7, like it was a WhatsApp listing, about 4 or 5 of us were saying yes, it has happened to us, and these were teachers that were supposed to teach us, female teachers, and like 2-3 guys were enjoying themselves. So what I'm trying to say, these things are happening everywhere, and then we need to tackle them from the grassroots. We need to be more vocal about this.
Yeah, we need to normalize.
Let me say, I was talking to someone. I was like, if I think at this point, if you want to even have sex, write it down. Let's be normal.
It's not that deep.
It's deep.
I think verbal. I think.
So, okay, what if I
Get
stand
to
up?
that point.
What if I stand up and say I didn't tell her to have sex?
No.
That is a different. I think lying is a different thing. That's a different ball game entirely.
Now
We're
let me
talking
give you an
about
instance.
a fair situation.
Okay, let me give you an instance. Do you know the guy who died, who committed suicide? I think the person came out to say that it really didn't happen, but someone went down.
Who? I'm telling you that's
Okay,
a
so
different
we let's not debate.
No.
Let's not debate.
No, you see-
Let's not debate. We will talk.
Set guidelines.
Let's not debate. The guidelines we will discuss in subsequent
Yeah.
episodes.
Yeah.
Let's not debate. So I just want to ask again: being too drunk or I to say no is not consent. What do you have to say about that?
Me?
Everybody.
Don't go near any person that is not rational enough to make a decision.
Okay, so we all agree on that,
Yeah,
yeah?
we
We agree on that.
Even if
Okay,
the person is tipsy.
okay. Having had sex before is not consent now.
Come
Do we
again.
all agree?
Come again.
Having had sex before is not consent now. So the
Yes,
fact
of
that
course.
you guys have
I don't
done.
understand the question.
If you have
the fact that you
sexually
guys have
active
done
does
before.
not mean that.
Okay.
Of course, actually.
Being passed out is not consent. Do we all
That
agree?
is proper rape, actually. That's proper rape.
That said with an unconscious
And the
person.
rest, and the rest people they talk
Proper
about
rape.
You
it.
might as
But-
well just repeat
No, that's
them.
on that's like you sleeping with a dead body.
Okay, let me add this other one. If a person is underage, it is not consent.
Someone who is underage cannot give consent. That is
Okay.
pedophile in the human body.
Yeah,
Those are the people that those are people that
Because I don't
those are the
categorize
people that
pedophiles as
created
human
rapists.
beings.
No.
Yeah.
So I'm saying a pedophile, an animal in a human body. So you get the context, you know.
Yeah.
Just so you know.
I think I support
Okay,
you.
now. Okay, this kind of country we're in. A country that supports an elderly man getting married to a 12-year-old child
Yeah.
would be so passive
This
about
table.
it. That's my problem
And
with
do
the
they
country.
make up majority of the seats that we have in the assembly.
That's my
So
problem.
and when you have
This
people who
table,
are
eh.
practicing this, and
I'll
these
tell
are
you
people
that
that
off your mic.
so you don't expect to have. That is why I'm saying, and I keep saying this, that aside from the fact that we live in a country where the man is seen as being superior, there are so many things that happen in the society, and they say, "Oh, keep quiet." A husband is constantly forcing himself on his wife, who is probably not in the mood to have sex, but he's constantly doing that. When word gets out, they are going to tell her, he's your husband.
It's
How
illegal.
do you
It's
do
not
that?
supposed to be like that.
Well, it's your
totally
duty.
wrong.
Can we all agree with me on this?
Yeah.
If you cannot put her in the mood, even if you paid $1 million, is that what the video says? As a bride price, please, I beg you, just let her be. So,
See, whatever it is, I don't think anybody should be asked to do what he or she doesn't want to do, be it your wife or anything. That's what I think.
Okay, so we need to start normalizing.
Nigerian parents left the group chat.
I think that's
What
funny enough, I don't know.
Okay.
But not
sorry.
sexually.
Let me just say,
Okay.
I don't know if it's because of stories I hear constantly. Let me tell you the truth. And the thing is that almost everybody you see on the street, a lot of people you see on the streets have had an encounter of molestation at
Very
home.
true.
At
Yes,
home.
now.
So it's recycling. You understand? What I've discovered that it's a recycled process. Because you've been molested before, a lot of people are still, see, these kids are walking around. People are molesting them serially, because if you hear people come to sit in front of you and then explain what they go through in life, and then you trace it back, see, these things are happening.
So what do you
It's
think
because we will get to
How
that.
do you-
Yeah, we will get to
Because
we will get to that.
It's the
We-
complex.
we will get to that. Let's not get into that here. We will get to that. But can we all agree that a lot of things need to be fixed
Yeah.
But before we get to that, let me just ask this other question because I think it's related to what I said earlier about being underage. So it says, being afraid to say no is not consent. I think this is just to let us understand the fact that in some situations, there is a person that has like a higher hand or a upper hand. Because there's a reason why lecturers are not allowed to date students. Because truly, the power is not balanced.
Yep.
If you're a 70-year-old man and you take a 13-year-old girl as your bride, is it a master-servant relationship? It means something is wrong. So now I am asking you guys, what do you have to say about being afraid to say no?
And if I'm to go for sorry, I think that accounts for a lot of these cases we've been talking about. Because the average Nigerian wife feels obliged. That's the former generation, not this ours. Hopefully, thankfully, a lot of women are becoming very, very much expressive in terms of their rights and all that. Because most times you see, like growing, like our parents and all, women were taught to like serve their husbands. So if you see a man comes back home with his rotund shape, reeking of alcohol, jumps on his wife, you won't tell me that woman was attracted to that man looking like that. Yeah. But she does not want to offend the father of her kids. She just gets pregnant over and over again.
I think this just points. Sorry, I think this just shows how messed up our society is, in the sense that women, or many women, or most women, are objectified. The society, or the kind of society that we find ourselves, has made us believe that women are just there to perform some duties. Like, they objectify women, they limit their existence or their importance to just satisfying or doing things, and I think that's problematic. Sorry, you were going to finish something.
No, actually, I think I agree with you.
Yeah. So
okay.
You want to say something?
Yeah, I'll say something quickly. So what you said, right? It is very